So hello and welcome to this MC Huddle. I'm Monica Rice, the Alumni Director here at McPherson College, and these sessions are opportunities for you to hear firsthand updates about the college. I'm so glad for those of you joining in real time. And just as a reminder, you are welcome to ask questions, and we actually invite that and would be very happy to hear the questions that you're bringing along with you. I'm also glad to welcome any of you that are watching this by recording. So just a note to everyone involved that is watching in real time, this session is being recorded and will be available later. And we have had some requests for that, so we'll be glad to share this recording, and we're glad for you to watch it whenever that's convenient for you. So this afternoon, I'm joined by President Michael Schneider, who in just a moment will be sharing a campus update, and that'll last 15 minutes at the longest. And so again, at any time, you're welcome to ask questions, and there'll also be time for some question and answer once he's finished sharing his update. So with that, I'll turn it over to Michael, and you can offer the update. Thanks so much.
Hey, thanks, Monica, and thanks, Eric, for being on with me today. And thanks to all of you for joining us live, and for all of you who are care enough about McPherson College to pick this up a little bit later. Again, our purpose for these really is to keep you up to speed, and they're modeled after monthly huddles that we do with staff. We keep it quick, high level, and hopefully is information that's valuable to you to stay up track on what's most important at McPherson College. So my update has a couple key themes today, primarily around growth and mentoring. And so as I think about those two themes, they come together because of work that we're doing with students to focus on our biggest challenge right now, which is retaining our students. And that can be a big challenge during this pandemic and any other year with all the challenges that we have working with students. And so one important aspect I want you to be aware of, and I've been in all of our first year student groups. So first year seminar, we call it ACE for those of you've graduated in the last 10 years. And I was in there with those students, and we talk about the students' why they attended McPherson College. And the point of having these sessions, and they got to spend time with me, they got to spend time with Dave Barrett, they got to spend time with other employees, students, and staff to process their why, with the idea that students' reason why they came to McPherson College might not always be the reason why they stay. And so what's been most interesting about these discussions is a group of students has really challenged my thinking around students' why. That a lot of times when we're working on college issues and we're creating initiatives and we're operating, students see this, and sometimes we forget that they're watching what we do, and we talk to them about retention, and we share very transparently what we're doing. But I think a lot of times the students, they see that differently than we do. We think that's hard work, it's efficient, we're trying to be transparent. And I got asked by a student recently, they said, why is it that you're always referring to students as an initiative? And they reminded me that they're people, and that what's most important in the work that we do here are the relationships that we're building with these students. And so that's been a major pivot that we've made, particularly during the pandemic, more specifically this year, as we've been focusing our time on mentoring. So as you're very well aware that we have, again, a record enrollment at McPherson College. We have over 830 students. We have the largest freshman class in our history, 337 new students. Now, all that's great. But as we think about this whole idea of students as opportunities to build relationships with versus this initiative around attention, we've really been spending a lot of our time around these mentoring priorities that we've got at McPherson College. So as we look at that, what is that? And so you all be seeing more information about something called the Bulldog Network, which is effectively a private LinkedIn for the McPherson College community. And that doesn't just include our current students, it includes our alumni and friends of McPherson College as a way to connect you graduates with our current students. And we do that through multiple initiatives. The one that you've been hearing a lot about is the Student Debt Project. So we have over 247 students in the Student Debt Project who have reduced their projected debt at graduation by over $10,000. Students in the Student Debt Project are graduating with a third less debt than the average college graduate, which has been transforming the way McPherson College thinks about how we pay for college education. In addition, students' parents' debt, so there's something called the Parent Plus Loan Program. Those loans are down 17% this year. So that program is going great for us. Students are paying down their debt. They're paying off their bill at McPherson College. Their retention is a lot higher than the rest of our student body. And one of the magic parts about that Student Debt Project really is the mentoring that goes on, the peer mentoring that happens within their cohorts when they come in, and the alumni that participate and support our students in that program. So that's maybe one of the most visible things that you see. We also have a way for you all to go in and network with our current students and to be matched with a student to work through career challenges that they may have, internships, stuff like that. And then also from a standpoint of we're working on a spiritual life network and minority mentoring network. So this Bulldog Network has been a powerful tool that you can go on to www.bulldognetwork.mcpherson.edu, and they'll share that here in a second. You can register, create your own profile. You can offer career advice, job opportunities. You can find ways to encourage McPherson College graduates. And it's a great way, in addition to the gifts that you make to McPherson College, for you to give back your time to help us out to build relationships with students. We're trying to do this across campus with how we think about our students from a peer standpoint. So our upperclassmen spending more intentional time mentoring our underclassmen, faculty and staff, and how we spend intentional time building relationships with students who are at risk. And now you can do this too through the Bulldog Network. And it's a great way for you all to help support us. And so as we look forward to 2022, a few things for you all to look forward to. We're expecting that next fall, we could have as many as 900 students on campus. We're hoping that we have over 500 students participating in the Student Debt Project. We're looking for increases of retention coming out of the pandemic, and we're looking for a really solid operation. Many of you will be excited. The fact that we have a new hire in our choral program. Music is an important part of our heritage, and many of you sang in the McPherson College Choir. Dr. Brad Vogel has been hired, and I've seen a couple of his performances. He's doing a great job engaging our students. He has an opportunity to take effectively in his first year at McPherson College to take our college choir to Carnegie Hall to perform. So that's really exciting. There's opportunities for you all who have a love for the choir and music at McPherson College to help support that. So look for information on that. Athletics. We know, half of our students are student athletes. A lot of you alums who graduated. McPherson College is in the battle for the KCAC Commissioners Cup. We finished the fall semester, headed into winter and spring, which we look really good. We're in third place right now. That's a comprehensive look at all of our sports and how they work together compared to all the other KCAC schools. And we're having a great competitive year. Student athletes are having a great experience. And for those of you who are wondering, are we winning? So in McPherson College's first 120 years, we had 18 KCAC titles. In the last 13 years, we've had 23 titles. So McPherson College is providing a great experience for our student athletes in the classroom and on campus. Our students provide thousands of hours of service in the local community. And our softball program happens to be, I think, the 3-time defending Growler Award winners for providing the most service out in the community. They do a great job off the playing field. On the playing field too, sometimes we overlook that. They're winning championships, and it's really cool to see lots of wins. Another important fact, last year, our winning percentage was almost 70%. So that's good news. Last thing I'll mention before I turn it over to questions is our Community by Design strategic plan has come, the timing has come to an end. I've been working with the Board of Trustees, and I just introduced a new framework with our faculty and staff this last week to take Community by Design, which you'll remember set out to model growth after our Automotive Restoration program, to rethink the student experience, which led to the Student Debt Project, which led to the East McPherson concept, which is trying to transform our traditional residential campus into a more modern community. You also have our Bulldog Pride initiative, trying to get as many of you young alumni out there to make gifts and support McPherson College, as well as this whole idea that we want to make plans for $1 billion endowment over the next 30 or 40 years. So we set out to do that and had a lot of great results, which you can read about over the coming months as we process on campus, heading in the same direction as Community by Design, but setting a new trajectory, thinking about what's the next iteration of the Student Debt Project that actually reinvents the net tuition revenue model at McPherson College. How do we encourage some of the folks who've committed up to right now $300 million towards our endowment? How do we get a few of those folks to make public statements to encourage others? What does it look like that we've taken this whole idea around modeling the success of auto restoration? How do we build on that? How do we build on that and keep moving forward with the Health Science Initiative, which is starting to bring students to McPherson College just to study public health and community health, and start to discern what their future looks like at McPherson College to have a career in health sciences. And then what's the future of automotive restoration? I think there's going to be some really cool, interesting discussions about what that looks like to protect that crown jewel that we've got around automotive restoration, and to start thinking more broadly into the automotive industry and transportation in general. So there's some real exciting opportunities. I'm planning to have a community-wide discussion over the next 3 or 4 months with our campus community, and I'm excited about what Community by Design 2.0 looks like. So there's some things for you to look forward to. Monica, I'm happy to answer any questions that we may have from the crowd.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for all of that, Michael. And I have a couple of questions that have been submitted, and we'll also invite, I know there's some good question askers that are tuned into this, so please continue to submit questions. I will note, and I think everyone should be able to see it, that in the chat, you can see the link to join the Bulldog Network, or if you're already on, to go back in and maybe reach out to a fellow alum or a faculty member here on campus and just keep those connections going. And so thanks, Michael, for framing up how important that mentoring platform, that tool is for us. So a first question that has been asked is, with all of the things going on in the economy, how has fundraising gone with all of this, especially the campaign that the college is currently in?
It's a great question. It's important for me to let you know that McPherson College has such an incredible tradition of giving. And so you'll remember that one of the first jobs I had at McPherson College was VP for advancement. And so that's where I got to start. And it's one of my favorite parts of my role at McPherson College. I love it. I believe in what we do, and we have such great donors. And so I will just tell you, it come as no surprise to you that last year we had a record year. We raised nearly $7 million in cash we've got another $4 or $5 million of commitments. So we finished the goal of building the Building Community fundraising campaign, $20 million goal in 2 years. And so we reset with a brand new consultant. We called our new consultant the new Jim Dodson. They work for Gonzo Gerber Tinker Stir. And we worked with them to work with our board and some of our longtime donors to reset with the campaign. And we're hoping that over the next 2 years, we can raise another 20 million. So needless to say, Monica, that's a long way around to saying fundraising is going great. And it's because of not just our large donors, because we have more $1 million donors than we've ever had in the history of McPherson College. And and that will continue to make an incredible impact. But we also have over 5,500 donors to this campaign, new friends of parents who've come in, friends of our student athletes who make gifts, friends of our restoration, health science, art, and humanities programs that make gifts to McPherson College. And all of you, and I see a lot of you attendees, most of it, you're presidential, you're in the President's Club. You make $1,000 unrestricted gifts every year. It's because of all of us and all the contributions that are made at every level that make a difference. Because don't forget, it's the $50,000, $100,000, $500,000, the $1 million, $2 million estates that come in that will add up over time. That will build the sustainability of McPherson College. So when we talk about $1 billion endowment and rallying around that, there will be several mega gifts and significant donors that play a part into that. But there's a whole nother set of folks that we're starting to see as it's a part of that $300 million that's already been committed to through estate plans to our endowment that are making a huge difference. And so fundraising is going great. And I got to give a lot of credit to the road warriors out there, you, Monica, Eric, Amanda Gutierrez, Dave Barrett, and others who are out there doing that day-to-day work. So all is good. So continue to look for more information, and you're going to get letters. Most of you get the calendar year-end mailing, and you'll get letters from me about how the campaign went. And so stay in touch. Eric is has a whole plan for the next year to keep everybody in tune with how that campaign's going. So stay tuned.
That all sounds like great news, Michael. I'm really excited to hear that. And I'm going to ask one more question that has been submitted, but if anybody else wants to chime in with any, we did kind of promise about a 20-minute timeline, and we're bumping up against that. It's great to hear that we want 900 students on campus. That's a great goal, but how is the campus going to adapt with that many students? Yeah,
you have to remember a couple things. It's not like we got to 900 in a couple years. I mean, this has been, I've been at it from a admissions standpoint. I took over admissions 16 years ago. So it's been 16 years that we've been really, really intentional about growth. And before that, we were obviously all over it, but it's happened over the last decade and a half. So it doesn't happen overnight. And so we're very careful about how we scale. We're very careful about what our faculty student range is, the ratio. We like a 14 to 16 to 1. And right now we're at about a 14 to 1. Keeping that ratio in a good, smart range is really important. In addition, managing the cost per student, managing our scholarships and things like the student debt project, those help us scale as well. So it doesn't happen overnight. And I just remind everybody who's like, oh gosh, because a lot of us will remember a McPherson College with 350, 400 students. You got to remember two things. Students define small differently. So they define small as something under 2,500, not 400 or 500. The second thing you got to remember is even if we're 1,000, 1,500, 2,500 students, we're still one of the smallest colleges on the planet. So As we scale, and it's a great question, and it's something that we talk about and obsess over weekly, honestly, as we grow. But it is important because sometimes when you're living your life and you get caught up, you're like, whoa, it kind of came out of nowhere. I promise you, it didn't. It's happened over time. So, but know that how we scale this operation to meet the ongoing needs of our students is just as important as the number. Because when we talk about growth, we're not just talking about bigger, bigger, bigger. We're also talking about better and quality. And I think a lot of you have, you're seeing that, and you're seeing programs like athletics. We want full squad sizes, but we're the only school in the KCAC who hasn't added a program in the last 10 years. We're since we added baseball, and we don't plan to add new programs. We've kept the capacity on our auto restoration program the same for at least 6 or 7 years, and we don't have any intention to increase that. And so even though we talk about growth, and we get proud about how many students we have, we're also talking about getting better too. And that's probably a bigger part of it, honestly.
That's great. Well, I'm going to offer some thanks, but Michael, in just a moment, if you have either a last word or a last story you want to tell, I want to give you space for that. But I want to thank everyone that joined us and watching this session or watching the recording at your own time. And a special thanks to you, Michael, for sharing this update. There are recordings of some previous huddles available on the alumni page on the McPherson College website if you're curious about some past updates. I'll offer just several ways you can be involved from wherever you are. So one, the really important one right now is to sign up on the Bulldog Network. Use that link that's in the chat or find it in any of the email communication that we've been sending recently, and sign up to be part of the mentoring platform, to be able to post and see job opportunities and to really get involved in that way. In January, we'll have an opportunity like we've had for many Januaries for a fresh start, for you to update your contact and life information with us. We can't wait to hear from you. If you do that in the month of January, don't rush and do it now. You'll be entered into a drawing to win a couple of McPherson College blankets. Those will go to a couple of special winners, and you can see them kind of here over my shoulder, ready to go in January. And then you'll have a special opportunity to complete a survey for a free t-shirt. So watch your messaging in January. I just want to tease that, that we'll want you to be involved and help us know where you're at and what you're excited about. And then, of course, save the date for Power Day 2022, our 1 day of giving blitz that is always fun for everyone. And so Power Day is Thursday, March 10th, 2022. So we can look forward to that. So Michael, anything you'd like to share before we close?
Yeah, I'll just leave you with this, as we continue to grow, know that our commitment continues to be the same. We work really hard and commit our careers, our lives to our students and the McPherson College experience and culture. And those of you who understand what I'm talking about, and you've been paying attention to the interesting, cool ways we've been growing, know that lots of things change, but there are some of those core things that always remain the same. And I think one of the best outpourings of that, and the thing that we're asking you to do, that Monica put a call to action on this Bulldog Network, is I would love to see over the next 20 years that we have 1,000 alumni in any given year actively engaged with our students through these mentoring opportunities. What a great way that you can make an impact. And when we say that, it could be everything from fully engaged in the DEP project, where you have monthly meetings with a group of students, to just you've signed up and you've said, you know, I'd be willing to talk to a student about what I do for a living. What a great way to make a difference, and for us to come together to live out our mission, develop whole persons through scholarship, participation, and service. So have a great holiday. Can't wait to see you back here for the next one. Thanks, everybody.